What do we know about the average person that goes out on Black Friday? My mother, if you're listening, I know exactly what your Friday plans are, and I know you're going to be at Target at, I don't know, 7 p.m. or whatever they open and buy a bunch of discounted DVDs or something.
Oh, she goes on Thanksgiving Day?
No, yeah, you know what it was? I was home a couple of years ago, and they're just like, oh, let's just go to Target to buy a bunch of stuff. They came home with like a bag of stuff, like a bunch of discounted DVDs, and they got like a little Christmas tree or whatever.
Sure.
I think it was just my mom and my sister Bonnie and doing something wacky. Like they weren't hardcore there trying to get all their Christmas shopping done or anything like that. And nobody in my family, to my knowledge, has bought a Xbox or a TV or anything on Black Friday.
Well, they are, I'd say, among the majority. We have to keep in mind that, again, the National Retail Federation, they're estimating that for this weekend, call it Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday, they're expecting about 135 million shoppers to be out and about.
What's the U.S. population?
A little over 330 now?
Yeah.
So huge numbers,
Wow.
okay? Really, really mind-blowing. And the thing is, the same survey also noted that about 185 million shoppers could end up participating in Cyber Monday.
Wow. I kind of want to do it just to be included now.
And the thing is, on average, consumers spend about $400 over the weekend. So
that high. Wow. Okay.
Pretty impressive. And the IBM actually had this really cool report about Black Friday and Cyber Monday for 2014. And it had some really interesting data about when people shop, what they're getting, if they're doing online, on mobile, in person at the stores. So, for example, so for Thanksgiving Day, shopping levels at midnight are a little high. They're a little more elevated, but they'll obviously fall to their bottom around 2:30 a.m. Everybody's in bed naturally by that point. But they pick up pretty quickly, I think around like 5 a.m., and they peak by 8 to 9 a.m. And then that will gradually slow down throughout the day until about 9 p.m. There's a small spike around 5, naturally, I think, when a lot of people, the people who do have to work on Black Friday potentially get out and get their shopping done. And the thing is, on Black Friday, mobile traffic accounted for about half of all online traffic that day. And mobile sales actually accounted for 28% of total online sales. So both of these figures are up, at least 25% from their 2015.
So are people going into Best Buy
13
and
figures.
Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Are people going into Best Buy and then seeing the prices and then ordering on Amazon, or are they just going to Best Buy and ordering on BestBuy.com because they see the line? Like, what's happening?
That's a big part of the trend is in terms, at least especially for the mobile traffic, is the fact that, with the prevalence of smartphones now, people have a lot of resources to either order things online, just from the comfort of their couch, but also to compare prices and find out maybe which Best Buy near them, for example, has that computer or that laptop in stock. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah. Jeez.
So there
has to be some line.
So that
increasing
mobile traffic is a really interesting part of the trend that they're seeing for this holiday weekend over the past few years. Another interesting thing is that New York City, DC, Atlanta, Los Angeles, and Chicago, in that order, came out as the top 5 most popular cities for online shopping on Black Friday. Not all that surprising.
That's not surprising. Yeah.
It's a lot. I've done Black Friday in New York City, and it is as chaotic as you would expect it to be in a city that big.
Did you see anything? What was the craziest thing you saw?
Just lines out the door, around the block.
Why?
At some of these stores.
And it wasn't discount is possibly
It wasn't
good
exactly
enough.
warm either.
Yeah.
So people were really bearing the cold to get some of these deals.
What discount is? I don't.
So another really interesting trend is the dichotomy between Android and Apple users. So
for what? Ordering
this is for
things?
mobile.
Yeah.
So this is for mobile. So iOS versus Android, right? Apple users spent about $122 per order versus $98 for Android. So we've heard about how developers for apps generally prefer to try and hit Apple because Apple owners they've done studies that have shown that generally more affluent, bigger spenders, and that's kind of reflected here in that difference, right? Also, Apple users, their sales accounted for 22% of total online sales, whereas Android made up just 6%. So again, you're seeing that trend where people seem to be getting a better, bottom line effect from these users. In terms of Cyber Monday reflected a lot of the same trends. The one thing that is not too surprising, but in terms of the trends throughout the day by hour, in terms of shopping activity, naturally a lot of people have to work that Monday. So the peak, instead of being around 8 to 9 in the morning like it is on Black Friday, it's actually around 6 to 9 p.m. when most people get out of work. So it's just an interesting trend that I saw, and that's kind of paints a picture in terms of what people can expect from shoppers over this weekend.